Bible verses that indicate that Jesus is not God the Creator. Part 1. 1. Matthew chapter 24 verse 36, "But about that day or hour no one knows, not even the angels in heaven, nor the Son, but only the Father." Here Jesus makes a distinction between what he knows and what the Father knows. 2. Matthew chapter 26 verse 39, "My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will." Jesus' will is likewise autonomous from God's will. Jesus is seeking acquiescence to God's will. 3. John chapter 5 verse 26, "The Father has life in himself, and he has granted that same life-giving power to his Son." Jesus received his life from God. God received his life from no one. He is eternally self-existent. 4. John chapter 5 verse 30, "By myself I can do nothing. I judge only as I hear, and my judgment is just, for I seek not to please myself but him who sent me." Jesus says, "By myself, I can do nothing." This indicates that Jesus is relying upon his own relationship with God. He is not trying to please himself, but rather is seeking to please the one who sent him. 5. John chapter 5 verse 19, "The Son can do nothing by himself. He can do only what he sees his Father doing, because whatever the Father does the Son also does." Jesus declares that he is following a pattern laid down by God. He is expressing obedience to God. 6. Mark chapter 10 verse 18, "Why do you call me good?" Jesus answered, "No one is good except God alone." Here Jesus emphatically makes a distinction between himself and God. 7. John chapter 14 verse 28, "The Father is greater than I." This is another strong statement that makes a distinction between Jesus and God. 8. Matthew chapter 6 verse 9, "This, then, is how you should pray. Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name." Our Father, in heaven. He didn't pray, "Our Father," standing right here. 9. Matthew chapter 27 verse 46, "And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice, saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani." That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?" Inconceivable if he is God the Creator. This is a strong evidence that Jesus is not God. 10. John chapter 17 verses 21 to 23-21, "That all of them may be one, Father, just as you are in me and I am in you. May they also be in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. 22. I have given them the glory that you gave me, that they may be one as we are one. 23. I in them and you in me, so that they may be brought to complete unity. Then the world will know that you sent me and have loved them even as you have loved me." In this prayer Jesus defines the term, "to be one." It is clearly accomplished through the relationship of two autonomous beings. Christian believers are to model their relationship, to become one, after the relationship of God and Christ, as God and Christ are one. Notice that, to be one, does not mean to be one and the same. 11. 1 Corinthians chapter 15 verses 27 to 28, 27, "For he has put everything under his feet." Now when it says that everything has been put under him, it is clear that this does not include God himself, who put everything under Christ. 28. When he has done this, then the Son himself will be made subject to him who put everything under him, so that God may be all in all. Paul declares that God put everything under Christ, except God himself. Instead, God rules all things through Christ. Remember, through him all things were made. 12. Hebrews chapter 1 verse 3. 3. The Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of his being, sustaining all things by his powerful word. After he had provided purification for sins, he sat down at the right hand of the Majesty in heaven. Jesus is the exact representation of his being. I send my representative to Congress. He is not me, myself. He is my representative. 13. Hebrews chapter 4 verse 15, compared with James chapter 1 verse 13, 15. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he did not sin. Jesus has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet he never sinned. See James chapter 1 verse 13. 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Jesus was tempted in every way, but God cannot be tempted. This is why Jesus said, Why do you call me good? ... No one is good except God alone. Mark 10:18. 14. Hebrews chapter 5 verses 7 to 9. 7. During the days of Jesus' life on earth, he offered up prayers and petitions with fervent cries and tears to the one who could save him from death, and he was heard because of his reverent submission. 8. Son though he was, he learned obedience from what he suffered. 9. And, once made perfect, he became the source of eternal salvation for all who obey him. Jesus had to walk a course of faith and obedience in order to achieve perfection. By achieving perfection, Jesus became the source of eternal salvation, i.e., he is not at all God, the Creator. He is a messenger of God.